It began on a rain-drenched evening in the old town of Harrogate. The narrow cobblestone streets were flooded, lanterns flickering against a mist. An antique dealer named Edwin Crayford was locking his shop when a stranger appeared at his door. A tall man in a black coat, his face half hidden under the brim of his hat. Without a word, he pushed a large wooden crate inside. "I was told you deal with rare items," the man whispered. Before Edwin could question him, the man vanished into the storm. Inside the crate lay a painting unlike any Edwin had ever seen. It depicted a grand hall with tall windows, an ornate chandelier, and people dressed in 18th century attire. But the faces of the people, they were blurred, as if smeared by invisible hands. Though unnerved, Edwin hung the painting in his shop, unaware that from that night forward his life, and the lives of many, would never be the same. That night, as the storm raged on, Edwin couldn't sleep. A strange pull dragged him back to the shop. When he lit a candle, his heart froze. The painting was no longer the same. The blurred faces had sharpened. The figures in the grand hall were clearer now. A woman in a crimson gown, a man holding a glass of wine, and a servant standing in the shadows. Their eyes seemed alive, following him as he moved. Edwin stumbled backward, but his fear deepened when he noticed something impossible. The chandelier in the painting had swung slightly, as though stirred by the storm outside. Each night thereafter, the painting changed. Sometimes the people moved. Other times, new figures appeared. The painting wasn't frozen. It was alive, capturing scenes from a forgotten past. Word of the painting spread quickly. Scholars, priests, and collectors came to see it. Some claimed it showed hidden truths. A duke once accused of treason, a secret affair between noble families, a long-lost heir to an estate. Every night, the painting revealed more. A whispered conversation appeared written on the lips of the figures. Letters materialized on the table. A dagger glistened in the servant's hand. One night, a visitor swore he saw his own ancestors staring out from the painting, eyes filled with warning. Another fled screaming, insisting the figures called his name. Edwin tried covering the painting with cloth, even locking it in the cellar. But every morning, it reappeared in the shop's main hall, as if demanding to be seen. Among the visitors was Lady Eleanor Ravenscroft, a wealthy widow with a hunger for the macabre. She became obsessed with the painting, convinced it contained messages from the dead. "Every night it shows us truths the world hides," she declared. "Murders unsolved, betrayals buried, secrets that still rot beneath our feet." She paid Edwin a fortune to study the painting in her manor. There, the painting grew darker. Blood stains appeared on the crimson dress. The servant's dagger dripped red. Shadows spread along the corners of the frame, twisting into skeletal hands. Eleanor became entranced. She stopped eating, stopped sleeping, watching the painting each night as if it were a window into the underworld. One stormy night, the painting revealed its most terrifying change. The grand hall was now empty. The chandelier hung broken. The windows were shattered. And in the center of the floor lay a woman's body, her crimson gown soaked in blood. Eleanor gasped. This is the truth, a murder hidden from history. But then she saw something else, the face of the murderer. It was no nobleman, no servant from the past. It was Edwin himself. His likeness stood in the painting, dagger in hand, eyes hollow with guilt. Horrified, Edwin tried to deny it. But the painting changed again, showing him, alone in his shop, opening the crate, touching the canvas. With each image, the painting whispered that Edwin had been chosen, that he was part of the story now. From that night, Edwin's life crumbled. He began losing time, waking up in strange places with no memory of how he got there. He saw blood on his hands, though no crime had been committed. Or had it? The painting revealed darker truths each night. It showed Edwin standing over strangers, his hands around their throats. It showed Eleanor's lifeless body in her manor. It showed fires, screams, and shadows pulling him into canvas. Eleanor vanished soon after, her house abandoned, the painting left hanging in the main hall. Villagers swore they heard screams coming from within the canvas, and sometimes, if you looked closely, Eleanor's pale face could be seen pressed against the glass of the painted windows, begging to be released. The painting never stopped changing. Travelers claimed it appeared in different towns, carried by unknown hands. In each place, it revealed terrible secrets, betrayals between lovers, crimes long hidden, murders waiting to happen. Some say those who gaze into it too long become part of it. Their faces appear among the painted crowd, forever trapped, forever watching. Even today, rumors whisper the cursed painting resurfacing in forgotten mansions, locked attics, or dusty museums. Some believe it waits for those who seek the truth, but others warn it doesn't just reveal secrets. It creates them. And if you stare too long, you might just find your own reflection inside, watching, waiting, doomed to become part of an eternal, shifting story. Months after Eleanor's disappearance, the painting was discovered by Professor Alistair Wincombe, a historian obsessed with occult artifacts. He brought it to Cambridge, believing he could decode its nightly transformations. Night after night, he documented each change in careful journals. Patterns emerged, symbols in the chandelier, cryptic gestures from the figures, numbers scratched into the walls. One evening, as Alistair sketched the painting, he froze. Among the faces in the hall, he saw his own reflection, distorted, screaming silently. Terrified, he slammed his journal shut and fled. The next morning, his students found him dead at his desk. His body was cold, his eyes wide open, staring at nothing, yet his corpse was twisted in the same pose as a reflection inside the painting. The painting passed into the hands of a traveling exhibition, displayed for curious crowds across Europe. With each stop, tragedies followed. Fires broke out in theaters. Disappearances haunted the towns, and witnesses swore they heard whispers rising from the canvas. By now, the grand hall in the painting was filled with dozens of figures, not just nobles of the past, but modern victims, Eleanor, Alistair, and strangers whose fates were tied to the painting's curse. Some visitors swore that the painted figures moved closer to the frame each night, pressing their hands and faces against the invisible barrier, as if trying to escape. And then came the night when the chandelier inside the painting crashed down. For the first time, the glass of the frame cracked, like the barrier between worlds was weakening. The exhibition vanished after that night. Rumors claimed the painting was stolen. Others whispered it consumed the entire hall, swallowing it whole. But witnesses tell one final occurrence. A small group of visitors, trapped inside the gallery when the frame cracked. They said the painting began to bleed color into the real world. The painted shadows stepped down from the canvas, their footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. One survivor, a boy no older than 12, escaped through a broken window. Years later, when asked what he saw, his answer chilled every listener. They weren't coming out. We were being pulled in. No one has seen the painting since. Some say it's hidden in the basement of a forgotten museum. Others insist it travels, appearing only to those destined to see their darkest truths. And if you ever find yourself alone in an antique shop, staring at a grand hall painted in oils, look away before the figures notice you. Because once they do, there is no turning back. Thank you for watching this mysterious tale. Stay tuned for more secrets, legends, and hidden truths.